All right, one more quick video, and this is to address the question that I got. I've got it in many forms, but my favorite form was, what the fuck is a ZOOP? And I figured I'd address that question now. So ZOOP is a brand new crowdfunding platform, and that platform does something very unique in comics in that platform, as one of the tiers for your support, if you so choose, they will ship and fulfill and deal with the customer service on all the books. So unlike Kickstarter or Indiegogo, they're like uniquely designed to handle comic books, and they have a lot of help and support. The guys running it are Eric Moss and Jordan Plosky, and those guys have experience in comic books. I know that they were semi-involved with the Berserk campaign, the biggest crowdfunding campaign of all time. And then after that, they kind of branched out and started their own crowdfunding platform specifically focused for comic books. So when I was starting Axel John, I knew I needed help there because I knew I wouldn't be able to mail out hundreds of packages. And as someone who's bought Kickstarters before, my reservations about it is the book going to come out at all? Is it going to come out on time? And rarely are those true. Sometimes they do, but most of the time they're at least late. So with Axel John, I knew I needed to launch with a company that had that support built in, and I'd always wanted that. And last year, ZOOP popped up, and they offered those services. I understand they're a new platform, and they don't have a big footprint in the market yet. But I think a lot of creators are going to start popping over there, and here's some reasons why that's the biggest reason why I'm going with them. But some of the other reasons why is like Eric and Jordan. If you get in early, like I am now, you can literally call those guys up and bring up your concerns and issues that you're having. A small thing with Axel John is I'm having a like a Muscle Man toy made, and they were on the ball about getting in touch with toy companies and getting me quotes and really freeing me up to draw and write the book, where I don't get bogged down in that. So it's kind of like you're hiring them as part of your team and part of essentially your company. With me, I'm starting a brand, Kuroshi Comics, and I picked the name Kuroshi because in Japanese it means to die from overwork. And I always love the idea of a comic artist dying at their drafting table, fighting the good fight. It's like the most honorable death in comics. And if you do what you love for a living, to die working is probably a great honor. So I like that name a lot. And Ben Dieter, the designer of Little Bird, I hired him to do the design for Axel John and got him to make the logo for me. So we got this really great logo for it, and I'll flash it on the screen. But with that company name and with that company brand, then if you go set up your own company or your own brand at ZOOP, then for me, I'm going to bring in buddies after we do Axel John, and let's say it's semi-successful. Then the next book we do should theoretically be more successful because they're not going to have to collect all the emails that I'm going to collect, and they'll have my customer base as their customer base. So I have other buddies that are going to follow me after, and I won't say their names yet because they haven't really finished their books yet. But with me, Axel John is going to be complete. It's going to launch under Kuroshi Comics, and it's going to have the support of ZOOP. And that's really why I chose ZOOP. And there's some more potential there for me, and more potential there for a lot of my friends in comics. And an example would be, let's say 4 or 5 years ago, I talked to my art rep Felix of Felix Comic Art, and he reps all these guys that a lot of them are young and relatively new, but they're so good and they're so influential. And we'll use James Herron as an example. And for me, I was telling Felix, why can't we make a James Herron artist edition right now? Why can't we do it right now? Why does he have to wait 30 years before he's considered a master when right now online he's getting hundreds of thousands of likes and retweets on his stuff, and so many young artists are saying he's an influence, and you can see it in their work. And his original art market's absolutely exploded. So why wouldn't he have fans, or doesn't he have fans that would pay 1/5 or 1/3 of the price of a page for the scans of all of Ultra Mega? you know? And I think he would. But the problem is the current model with the store owners is they kind of need like a George Perez or a Jack Kirby, someone who's sold for them for 20 or 30 or 40 years before they consider them a legend enough to feel confident or in the book, which is completely understandable. But with Zoop, like an example that they did is they put out the John Paul Leon hardcover and they brought it directly to the fans. And they didn't cut out the store owners. They went and took that artist edition oversized hardcover and they brought it directly to everyone in the world. And they sold, over 1,000 copies, and it was a $200,000 campaign. And with that, they gave a huge discount to stores if they still wanted to order it too. But instead of relying on the demand directly from potentially cash-strapped store owners to order new oversized artist edition hardcovers, Zoop had the idea to bring it to the masses, and I think that's such a smart idea because a guy like James, you can make him. I mean, he is a master now, so why doesn't he get that legendary status when he's still in his 30s or late 30s? Why does he have to wait till he's 60? Or, in John Paul Leon's case, he really didn't get it made until after his death, which really sucks. But, that demand was probably always there for his work, even 5-10 years ago. So why couldn't he do it sooner? And with the way modern media works and the way social media works, you can really create the buzz around a product. And by what I mean by that is, let's say if the Felix guys all got behind a James Herron artist edition, and we had Paul Pope and James Jean and everyone talking about it, we would have all of our fan bases driving people to the campaign building its email list and its readership and its fan base. And then all of a sudden when Paul Pope comes in, he's got a bigger established base because he's got everyone James has. And then if, let's say, after 10 of the top guys go, then maybe I get to go, right? A mid-tier guy. And then, maybe a mid-tier guy. We'll see. I'm working on it. So then I would get their base. And then if we all supported each other and fed into one another with washing our egos away and we shared an email list, we could really build something. So with Kuroshi Comics, I had the idea that I'm going to do that with my book, and I am going to do an oversized hardcover. It's not an artist edition, but I want to make the book I want, and I pull out all the stops. And with Zoop, another thing they have is connections with all the big printers. So I'm going to use the same printer that all the big two uses, or the top 5 companies use, and that way, when you back a Kickstarter, you never know what the individual behind the scenes is dealing with. If they're going to go with we'll just call it what it is, a shitty printer, or have bad margins or whatever. And that's all stuff that I would have had to deal with that now is taken off my plate, so I can just work and make the best book possible. So that's the real reason why I went with the Zoop. I know that Kickstarter has a lot of drama with their moving to blockchain and stuff. And if I'm being honest, that doesn't really bother me. I think blockchain, from what I've read, will turn into probably probably a great technology. It's probably too new, and so people are fearful of it, and maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but that wasn't really a factor. And I got to speak with the people at Kickstarter. Their publishing outreach people, and one of their advertising guys, and they were really sweet and really cool. And I think they wanted Axel or John too, but I told them that I've already committed to Zoop, and I really needed the support for this first campaign. So that's why I'm going with the Zoop, and that's what the fuck Zoop is. I'm super excited about it, super nervous about it, trying to get the word out and stuff. So everything that I want to do in comics with Axel or John, Zoop has all those pieces in place for me, all the infrastructure and all the help. And hopefully we can work something out where we can make this successful and sustainable, so I can put all the books I want out through the company, and hopefully bring some friends over to publish under the Kuroshi Comics brand too. So that's my rough plan for Axel or John, and that's what the fuck Zoop is. I would like to, take a little time to thank those guys for me bugging them all the time. And hope you guys support the campaign. We launch on April 26th. 140-page hardcover at Zoop, and the book's going to be complete and ready to go on day 1. So right after the campaign ends, we should be getting the final files together and ready to roll. So, take care. Bye.